Lanson B. Jones Jr., I have you registered as CIO, or is that CEO?
CIO, Chief Innovation Officer.
Okay. For Nova Spark Energy and Self, and you're registered for HB 5600. Is that correct?
Yes, and I would like to go over some clarities that I would recommend to be added.
You may proceed with your testimony, sir.
Chairman Darby, Vice Chairman Morales, and esteemed members of the Energy Resources Committee, thank you for your time and leadership. My name is Lanson Jones. I'm an 8th generation Texan and a fighting Texas Aggie. Texas has always been the backbone of America's food and energy supply, but today we import 60% of our ammonia fertilizer and 40% of that comes from China. That's not a supply chain issue, it's a strategic vulnerability. If we want to protect our farmers, secure our food supply, and keep Texas leading, we need to act now, and hydrogen is how we do it. During Winter Storm Uri, my power went out in my house. It wasn't out for hours. It was out for 7 days in Houston. My roof collapsed, and it was in my kids' room. Luckily, they weren't in their tents that they were playing in just minutes before it collapsed. So we got pretty lucky there. So, on personal testimony, I've been in the energy business for 15 plus years running renewable energy companies like Green Mountain Energy and starting up REP. So I'm pretty well versed in this. But at Nova Spark, we did something really unique for the Department of Defense and the DIU. We built the first atmospheric hydrogen generator. What that means is we have an ultra efficient way of taking water from the air so we don't have issues with the drought. And the power concerns are about half of what other atmospheric water generators use. So we solved some other problems there for the Department of Defense making water on the go. And we pulled it from the air so we can do it in an efficient way. The main priority was for emergency power and for drones. So just last week, China set the record for the longest drone flight with hydrogen. It was for 30 hours. So we're behind the 8 ball on that. That's where we came in with the DIU to make fueling for austere environments and power for things like the Indo-Pacific, where you have lots of humidity to extract from the air and power. But as far as Texas is concerned, no one's talked about this, but hydrogen is not affected by the extreme cold. It won't get frozen like the natural gas pipelines were, and that's a big differentiating factor. It stores for years. These tanks are made to store hydrogen for 20 plus years. It powers drones that can go 3 times further than electric drones and battery drones, and it carries more than 2 times the payload. That's huge, not only for the military, but Amazon and the big guys are all starting pilots with hydrogen for delivering packages. So I want Texas to win the race because we got everything. We have some of the best drone technologists companies that we are personally working with that are actually based here out of Austin. So it keeps the jobs in Texas. Thousands of high-tech jobs would be created for the hydrogen industry. The Texas Railroad Commission has already been looking at blending hydrogen into the natural gas supply line. I was hearing about flare gas earlier. I actually posted an article about how you can take flare gas and make hydrogen out of it or power electrolysis. Instead of wasting that, turn it into dollars for Texans, and we can absolutely recover that $95 million if that bill is written correctly.
Your time is up. Any questions from Mr. Jones? Yes, Representative. No, nobody else. Mr. Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for coming. Boy, did you just talk about a bunch of stuff, and I promise I won't hold the fact that you're an Aggie against you.
My grandpa went to UT, and so did my sister.
There you go.
My dad taught there for 25 years, and I went there for school. But I think it's pretty interesting that you're bringing up ammonia. So for the folks in the room that don't know why hydrogen is important to ammonia, folks do know what we use it for, but NH3, right? It's all hydrogen with a tiny little bit of nitrogen. Okay, and you claim that you found water in the air in Houston. Is that true?
Oh yeah, there's lots of it. We can go as low as 30% and still keep energy efficiency.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's That's actually pretty cool. I'd be interested in seeing that at some point. So I live in Houston. So wherever your plant is, would you say? Always talk about mapping energy infrastructure. So we're talking about facilities, machine shops, also the human resources we were talking about earlier, technicians, well, all that stuff maps seamlessly to a large part of hydrogen industry, right? Would you say it's your experience? Yeah.
Yes, and one of the things we need to do, Regeneration Energy has already started doing it. It's basically a mid-market, just like Henry Hub for hydrogen, and it connects all those rural small farmers and people that are buying smaller orders to really make a decentralized roadmap to create more jobs and ultimately make hydrogen more affordable.
So just so I understand, the company you're working with now, are you actually using the hydrogen you make to power the process?
So currently it's run off of all solar panels or wave energy or wind.
Okay.
And in austere environments, so say in the middle of an island where you have no other resources except renewables.
I certainly understand why Department of Defense would be interested in that. And also drilling operations where we have power needs out in the middle of nowhere. Pretty cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any more questions for the witness? All right, seeing none, thank you.